Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Hand of Fate 2. So I, on several occasions here, thought I was just going to fail, and yet that just turned out to not be the case, and somehow we have managed to drag out this event, this mission, a lot further than I would have thought we could have done. We did mess up in one place, so we're not going to get the gold reward at the top left there, but we could still get the silver reward. We could also, though, just end up dying and running out of food or running out of health in a fight. There are 5 more steps that need to be taken to get to the cartographer. That would maybe give me gold to camp to buy more food. At that point, I should have enough fame to go back to this location and receive the second relic, and then I have to walk, I think, all the way back this way. The entire maximum size of a layout
I could
is
not
here.
be more pleased to train you. You have every skill Callus lacked. Patience, delicacy, tact, skill.
I assume Callus is the hero of the first game, and I half suspect that this guy is not the same dealer as the first game, and this is actually Callus, or Callus's body. So the wilds are home to many rebel, criminal, and beast. Heavy weapons are recommended against the Empire. You can change your equipment, so we want a heavy weapon, which would be then this weapon. And yeah, we should just jump into the fight quickly. There's still a lot of room for failure going on here. And no good reason why we're fighting the Empire, because in this mission we are working with the Empire. Musketeer. Deadly at a distance, only the most skilled are recruited into musketry. Musketeers fire heavy attacks, defend with a shield, or else evade for your life. I also have a curse on me that's going to make one of these enemies, probably one of the musketeers, do double damage, I believe.
If our time is up, so be it.
Okay. Alright, we have a fishing village area in the background. It definitely feels like in this mission they're just trying to have us see as many different backgrounds, as many different enemies. This feels like this is the end of the introductions. With the battle resolved, you scavenge what you can. We gain 4 fame. We need 15 fame. Alright, so I should discard this for 2 more food. We should probably take the life. And then probably discard the gold for more food. And here we just have yet another fight. This time they want us to switch, I think, probably back to this weapon. See, the one thing I would say here that they're probably not making very obvious is that if I had all 4 of the relics, I probably will be cursed by 4 curses, and as such I probably don't want to fight anybody after I've gotten that 4th relic. I want to just be able to transport it back to where it was without any more encounters. Decent chance we're gonna lose here. I got lucky there. Now we'll finish this episode, this mission, and we'll go on to the next episode. It's going to probably take more forethought and planning to get gold on this. With the battle resolved, you scavenge for what you can find. We have another piece of equipment, which I think it's probably still worth it to discard. We can discard cards, by the way, right now, because we have I'm going to keep 20 gold because we have a ring of food that's letting me discard items. Okay, you're into a competition of strength at a fair. Gold prize is available to the winner. So this event in particular, we were hoping we could win and be done with this arm wrestling card because our companion Bjorn will give us an extra dice. So, a masked bounty hunter sits motionless across the table from you. You prepare themselves for the fourth round of competition. I'm pretty sure that should be you prepare yourself for the fourth round of competition. With this game being very text-based, typos or confusing dialogue is going to stand out like a sore thumb. So we need a target of 16. If we got 3 6s with 3 dice, that would be 18. So very little room for failure here. So we want to re-roll this and then hope we could get a 6. Otherwise we're going to end up using the extra dice. But if we got like a 1, then we would be in worse position. So we just need to get a 3 or higher. Odds are in our favor with the extra dice.
Well done. You continue to impress.
But see, that would almost be impossible to do with just 3 dice. You'd have to get very, very lucky. And if you fail the arm wrestling, it's going to reset, and then you're going to have to start over and do arm wrestling 2 more times before you even get to the point we are at. You can hear the heavy breathing through your opponent's mask. Your opponent silently rises from the table and leaves with their consolation prize. We get 4 fame. We have way too much fame. And I'm hoping that's the end of the arm wrestling and that there isn't yet another round. You thank Colborne for his intimidating stare that he laid upon your opponent. So, do we accept the gold, or do we just have a massive amount of food here? Because we could discard 10 gold for 2 food. And it's almost exactly a trade, equal trade. So, weirdly, I think we are discarding for food. And then we should probably set for camp. You've taken the reward from the purser on the way out. When you return, you will compete in the next round for a larger prize. So there is one more round, and even with Bjorn's ability, if I'm going to have to get 17 or 18 with 4 dice, that is going to be hard going. I think this may very well just go up to 18. Alright. So we set for camp. The sweating trader comes jogging in from the darkened wilds to join you. Thank God you're here. I don't know how to start a fire. It's my first time traveling to the capital. Alright, so let's see what we can trade. First of all, you can buy 1 food for 6, which is not a very good deal. We can't sell any equipment. We can't afford the armor of gluttony, which might have been helpful. But we can now cook food and get our health up. Whoops. I hit the button too many times there, and it showed the animation in a slower time to what I was pressing the button there. That was too many times, definitely. Now I'm back down to 3 food. We can probably work with that fine, however. But the way that animated was very weird. Wilds are sometimes treacherous and harmful. While traversing off a dangerous space cliff, you slip and lose your footing. Though relatively unharmed, the same cannot be said for a pack of travelers' rations that broken or fall. So now we are at 0 food. So now we're taking starvation damage. The wilds are welcoming, they're bountiful plenty. You feel soothed and reinvigorated by your exploration. And we will discard that for 2 food. Okay. So the only things left is we could do the treacherous wilds and the treacherous wilds that we haven't landed on that. There's no reason to do that. We can go back to the cartographer. We can't probably do Clan Eyebright because Bjorn is still exhausted from using his extra dice ability. So we'll probably just walk downward to get this relic and then maybe walk back up to see if we can do Clan Eyebright, and then we'll walk back to that location. So one would assume that you get this reward if you tell the cartographer a lot of information. I have what I assume is the maximum number of cards exposed here, 27 revealed encounters on the map, and that's going to give me 36 gold, which is going to be a lot of gold that I then will probably just, well, weirdly, may not be enough to buy that piece of equipment still. We'll see what happens, I guess. A traveling cartographer in the process of making the first full map of the Empire wishes to pay you gold for information of the area you have seen in your recent travels. I need not know every stream or stone that lies here to the capital. I'm sure whatever knowledge you can provide will be of some worth. Now, if I don't get this coin by accepting 36 gold as payment, I have no idea what would have gotten me the coin. The cartographer listens intently as you relate what you can remember of the neighboring areas. 36 gold, we will keep that. He is thoroughly impressed with your knowledge he has gained from your travels. You gain 2 fame. Okay. Which means we can now camp and trade, buy this equipment.
Ancient smiths have considered the same issues we do. How to handle hunger and resources during battle.
So the Armor of Gluttony would gain +2 food or +1 food in Enlist for every encounter in which you gain a card. So we want to equip that. And then we don't have anything really to sell, or any reason to sell. Okay. If we go here, 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 and here, Village of Dornak is unremarkable save for a tiny near forgotten shrine. Here you find another relic. Resting on the dusty altar, an old woman greets you. I see you're interested in our relic. Local legend tells us of a time a great hero will come and claim it. Until then, it remains here under our watch. So last time we tried to claim that we were the hero, we had like 13 fame. It said we needed 15 fame. We now have 40 fame. So we definitely should be able to just claim we are the hero and not get into a fight that otherwise would be pointless. Although fighting one Berserker of Frost, even then, probably would have been very doable. Woman examines you for a moment before falling to her knees in prayer. You have arrived, just as foretold, our savior. And we now have 3 of the 4 relics. One of the relics is broken. With each relic, we are further cursed. So, we now have Drake's Ring, or Drake's Ring. Lose 1 gold each time you use a companion ability in combat. Interesting. The gathered relics have begin to vibrate and hum, then glow with an eerie, unnatural light. And apparently now there's going to be a mage's tower that we're going to go towards. Instead of just going back into the lower left-hand corner, which is what I thought was going to happen. Your eye is drawn to a similar glow emanating in response from a distant tower. Do you think they're trying to tell us something? Colborne smirks. Let's get moving. And I imagine if we had a different companion, Colborne would just be replaced with that companion's name. Head to the mage's tower and find the final relic. Okay. But first, we're gonna do the treacherous wilds here. Minus 10 our max life.
Can you claim this token?
Koban returns to his home village to partake in toil, the ritual cleaning of his people's ancestral grave mounds. Invites you to accompany him. We would need a blessing, so we should only play Clan Eyebright when we're doing blessings. So I have to politely decline. Kobold nods his head in acceptance. So we can't accomplish that, unfortunately. But at least we now know what we need to do to accomplish that. So this is going to be, I guess, our final boss fight, because every other mission ends in a final boss fight. But we will, unfortunately, only get silver because we broke one of the relics by not having enough gold. So you know we need to have fame, gold, and just a general ability to fight in this scenario. And you need to go towards probably the fight first, so that you can earn enough gold and fame to get the other 2 relics, second and third.
And now you must begin to ask yourself how these threads connect. Were you simply a patsy for the Empire, or did you hope to be something greater?
The relics lead you to a mysterious tower. You will need to ascend it to reach the mage at its summit. The storm swells ominously overhead. Yes, so the question here is, did the Empire hope that you would kill this mage for them without really telling you about the mage? We have to enter the tower. There's really nothing else we could do. Well, we could technically do 2 more encounters, but it wouldn't help me in any way, and we're out of food.
I'm not a vain man. You must appreciate that this game, has been my focus for more years than I can count. I have a certain pride regarding its twists and turns.
So we are trying to land on swords for success, I guess. Minus 5 life per curse.
Perhaps you should have taken your time.
Is it going to make us spin again? Or was that just a one-time spin? The relics burn brightly, searing your hands. I see you have saved some of the relics. Do you believe you're the one To harness their power, the voice asks in an amused tone. So, I imagine we may have to do multiple successes. As you climb the tower stairs, a voice calls down from above. Do you even know why you're here? How much did they tell you when they ordered you out into the wilds, when they sent you out here like a dog after a bone? You continue to wind your way up the tower. So we can kind of tell that what's going to happen here is eventually it's just going to be 2 cards. You finally reach the top of the tower. You've been sent here to do the bidding of the true enemy. These relics can be used to defeat him, but you are here looking to return them to him. So you seek the final relic, the mage says. She looks you up and down. Are you clumsy or foolhardy? I cannot tell. You've come this far, but you failed to bring the relics intact, and yet you continue your errand. She holds out her hand. I guess you've come for this. And we're going to fight a 1 of Arcane instead of an Ace of Arcane. And it does seem like we're seeing a weird balance here where you're sometimes getting female bad guys, but they almost always are the bosses at the final boss fights, and you never get a female bad guy just randomly appearing in a random encounter. Nor
I turn my errors around in my mind.
Do we get entire groups of female thieves where it would make a lot of sense to just swap the body models half the time. To keep it more varied. Like that definitely is an artistic choice that they've chosen to keep it in balance like that. A bias, I would probably call it. Take it, she says calmly, but be warned. Its curse will sap your strength and your will to fight, and combat is inevitable, I'm afraid. Or, she continues, you can let me keep it, but should you best me, it will be lost to you forevermore. Leave the relic and fight the mage, take the relic. Our health is pretty good, so I think we should probably just take the relic and see how this goes. They said at the very beginning of this mission that the sword does equal damage to the wielder as to the enemy. So if I have 90 health and the opponent has more than 90 health, then I'm in trouble unless my companion does some damage to make up the difference. The companion ability cooldown charges 50% slower. Well, that's not the curse I was expecting. The relic is heavier in your hands than you expected, and its presence clouds your thoughts. The mage laughs. Your imperial masters would be most proud. Prepare to meet your fate. You struggle to lift the weapon as a group of thieves join the fray. And we don't get a choice of equipping different weapons, so we will be fighting with that cursed sword. They always put masks on them, and obviously there's just like no face model, really. It's probably the exact same body and face model as the protagonist. No, it doesn't really feel like it is the same body model. It's not as muscularly. So the relic thief mage, this mage went to extraordinary lengths to gather these relics. Mages shoot projectiles from a distance, use evade to avoid their attacks. Okay.
I trust none.
Interesting, I'm not actually wielding the weapon, the cursed weapon. And I'm not taking massive amounts of damage. So that fight went very easily for me. I thought that was going to be much more challenging, although I am playing on easy mode. Though you failed to recover all the relics, you were able to keep them out of the hands of thieves. You journey back to the Imperial City to deliver your report. You lose 1 gold. Who cares? At this point, we're at the end of the mission. Captain Australia meets you at the city gates. I'll take you straight to the Chief Council. She'll be eager to examine what you've brought back. On your walk to the palace, you explain that while you didn't manage to secure all the relics, you assured her that they were destroyed or lost. Save your excuses for the consul. You were sent to bring them all back. The Chief Council takes your news like bitter medicine. Well, I guess this is what happens when we send mercenaries and yokels to do a proper job. Be gone now before I question your loyalties. So we get a mercenary achievement for completing 5 challenges, and we still get the silver coin reward.
Every part of this tale is a part of your history, a part of the reasons that bring you here.
I don't feel like that narrative and that idea really plays any real role. It kind of, I think, was the same in the first game, where you're reliving your experiences of what actually happened in the real world through this game, which that just doesn't seem like that matters too much. Well, for completing the Emperor's Expedition, we get 5 new event cards: the Empire Contacts, Palace Armory, Exploring the Wilds, a Winding Trail, and a Deadly Forest, which the Deadly Forest card is on fire, so either that is DLC, which I bet it isn't. It probably is a rare card that is very, very bad. Maybe instant death level of bad if you fail a dice roll or something. For completing the Emperor's Expedition, we also get 4, I believe, equipment cards in the Gambler's Jewel, the Lord's, what does that say? Diadem? I have no idea what that's supposed to be. Billy Clubs and Mercenary Garb. For befriending the Empire, your supplies have been added to. This is a card we could start with in the Brigand's Blades, the first 2-handed light weapon, which, yeah, good, we got that fairly early in the game. It's kind of funny to say we're fairly early into the game, but there is a lot more content. And then we have just like 6 rewards because we did so many things with so many event cards. The DLC card reward here for impressing Cruel Catara at the Hound, we get Iron Peak Ballistics and the Hunter companion card, maybe. For greatly helping the cartographer with his map, we get Duel. The Bryn folk have taken root in the Endless Adventure, the Briar folk. So the Wild Hunt card is an Endless Adventure. That feels directly lifted from Witcher. And again, I'm feeling like the animation of the coin opening, once I hit A to start the coin showing up on the screen, it should just automatically open and then pause on this screen. It's having me press A 1 extra time for no good reason. Endless Adventure is now available from the challenge map, so we could just play Endless Adventures if we wanted to from this point. Yeah. Goblins are now causing mischief in endless adventures. Round of goblins. So everything with the infinity symbol on it is a reward for endless adventures. Which means we will probably just constantly unlock more content for endless adventures until we've done all of the main story. And so there really is not a path here for you to enjoy the main story and not be at least tempted to do endless adventure, and there is absolutely no path to just start a new game and play endless adventures and not bother with the main story. Shadow Beasts now stalk the land in endless adventures. Shadow Games. Aid your allies in endless adventures with Goblin Favors as a platinum card. Drunken Hero as a platinum card. And Blood for the Beast as a platinum card. The music here feels too modern. You could probably have a nice little upbeat lute music. It's kind of what we're hearing now. Feels more appropriate for the time. Probably lute music, maybe not. But yeah, had it just been an upbeat version of a song like that, where this song that we're hearing right now is a little bit slower, a little bit more somber feeling. Okay, well, I still don't feel like there's a reason why you would do adventure. And then as far as endless adventures go, I think you probably just hit A, and then that is just a random encounter. So there really doesn't feel like there would be any logical reason to do endless adventure at this point. You basically have to unlock everything, get every achievement. There are, it looks like 99 achievements in this game, so I probably won't get every achievement. So let's move on and at least start the Hierophant.
Every game, even this game we play, is a shadow of the great game. The game of life and death. Once I was its master, but now another sits upon that throne. I will teach you everything I can in this game, that you might have the strength to master the great game in time.
These monologues at this point in particular are speed bumps. They slow down the gameplay. So the Hierophant usually is depicted as a religious leader. In this case, it's being depicted as what looks more like a pagan character of some sort. We're supposed to discover which assassin seeks to kill Father Galfrey. Remuneration. Information comes at a cost. Collect gold to use for bribes. Tempt fortune. Be prepared for dice games. And the guild, Take Heed Thieves, are not known for their loyalty. So if we know we're going to do dice games, then it makes sense to have the Wanderer here with the bonus dice as our companion. We have unlocked this companion too, so we can take that. Then encounters, we're going to have to decide which ones we want to take. Let's see. Let's take the Market Thief. This is a precision thing where you might end up fighting Northerners. We want to probably take new things. We still probably want to succeed at arm wrestling. We probably want to reveal maps. And I guess we just have to take the burning forest to figure out what it is. Now, this clan Eyebright we don't want to take, and that would be our companion continuation card. So, maybe we'll just take some more new cards here. So that's 8 encounters. We're still very much in a situation where we want to figure out what these cards do. Then we'll take billy clubs. We'll take this card. We'll take this card. Take this card. Like, let's see. We'll take this. Take that. Take that. And then we'll take that. And we get 2 supplies here. So we can start with several different weapons. But we probably should only start with 1. So we probably should inspect each of these. Draw this equipment card during a challenge to discover its traits. We don't know what its traits are. This wants to kill shadows. This one wants to kill northerners. Take some extra food and take that weapon. It's probably the best bet. Yeah. There definitely feels like there's more strategy that's going to go into doing these levels once we've unlocked all the cards and figured out what they do.
Here, the guardian of knowledge and the protector of the gates of life and death. Now Callus sits that throne, and miscreants assume the position.
So I wonder if it's a case that the Emperor actually is Callus, the hero from the first game. So, yeah, this is probably going to be a smaller mission encounter with less cards on the field than what we just did. And because there are so many cards, and because we have to figure out what all the cards do before we know how to build a really good deck to play, there is much more of a deck building element to this game than the first one, it feels like. And it definitely feels like there's much more of a motivation here to actually go back and play the missions a second time if you haven't gotten gold. But if you luck out and get gold in the mission, I don't think there really is a reason to play a second time. And once you've gotten gold in all of the missions, the adventures, maybe a little bit of extra DLC, but then Enlist is really going to be up to you whether you would want to play one more time to try and see how high a score you could get effectively with the most amount of food or gold or fame or all three. With Malclip's encouragement, what's a few murders in the grand scheme of things? Question mark. I guess maybe that's a full-on reference to a card that we've already seen. I believe that is an event we've already seen. You find yourself sat opposite the opulently dressed leader of the Thieves Guild, or one of the leaders. It's a shadowy organization. He takes a sip of wine and then leans back to savor the taste. I am scheduled to be assassinated. The new assassin has been determined, and so the tale begins. There are 3 nights until the assassination. Interesting how they're going to use time as a mechanic now. Which makes me wonder if that hourglass object on the table there is going to play a role. A lot of the things on the table here felt like they were just decorations, but now it seems like they actually may reveal themselves slowly to be part of the whole gameplay. I believe the suspect is one of my own. With subtle nods, he indicates a bearded man, a woman with red hair, and a man with gray eyes. Borden, Rowena, and Grindan, my 3 personal silencers. One of them left me this note, I am sure. When the red candle flame burns out on the last evening at the Mulberry Inn, the false priest will have his sins appeased. He points out the red candle upon the fireplace. The assassin's favors theatrics over secrecy, it seems. Find the assassin for me. To do that, you will likely need gold. These will tell you anything for gold. So we have a lot of information, or we can just retire for the night. Yep. Let's ask who he is exactly. I am known as Father Galfrey, though it's not my true name. Of course, I keep track of accounts in this region. Ask for more information about the assassins. You know, it was left for me at this inn when the red candle burns out. Yeah. This is the exact same dialogue we just saw. Ask for information about Borden. Borden is the eldest in my employ, a simple, nervous kind of man. I highly doubt he would have the heart nor the finesse to assassinate me unless he has hidden his true nature all this time. Galfrey said that Borden has worked for him a long time. It's, I guess, one clue we are collecting, so it definitely seems like we're going to be using gold to have conversations to get clues. If you say you'd have to pour, I'd say you'd have to pour a few meads into him if you want him to talk. Galfrey said that Borden will spill more truth when drunk. So that's 2 clues. Let's ask for information about Rowena. Rowena has been one of my silencers for as long as I've been in this position, and that is a very long time indeed. Galfrey says Rowena has worked for him for a long time. Another clue. I asked that she infiltrate the 3rd Legion of the Imperial Army and eliminate their captain. She did so, of course, as efficiently as anything. Galfrey said that Rowena was in the 3rd Legion of the Empire Army. I suspect that she is only truly loyal to gold, but she's quite a valuable asset to the guild, so it would be a shame if she intended to assassinate me. Galfrey said Rowena will always tell the truth for money. So you're getting a massive amount of hints just by not skipping. Which, if you were playing this a second time, that's going to kind of suck, because you're just going to have to button mash through all this text without reading it, and even at that is still going to be a slower process. Let's ask for more information about Grindan. Grindan has been my employee for some time. Same information for all 3 of them. He's prone to making the most preposterous claims, many of which are untrue. I'd be wary of his exaggeration even if he isn't the assassin, and especially when he's had too much wine. So he'll make wild accusations when drunk. That's another clue. Alright, so then we retire for the night. We already have 7 out of 19 clues. And with that, he waves you away, and you retire to bed wondering how Malclips talked you into this. So at that pace, it kind of feels like this is the entire event. It's gonna just be maybe you go to one encounter here, and you talk to people. You go to this encounter here and you talk to another person. You go to this encounter here and you talk to the third potential assassin. And then you get here and you make the accusation or fight. And that may really be all there is to it. Which, that's not a terrible thought considering how long the last event is. And I wonder if perhaps this is a case where the events are randomized, and who the assassin is randomized. But then why would it even have me have like 3 event cards or any event cards picked if they were all going to be scripted events? And a winding trail is not a scripted event. So there must be another level. Suddenly a tree falls across your path, blocking the way ahead. Weapons bristle from the trees around you, and their wielders' faces obscured by the undergrowth. Give them all your gold. Attack the cowardly band for threatening to dare you. Light weapons are recommended. Do we have any light weapons? Yes, we do. Yeah. Weirdly, it's a situation where, like, it doesn't feel like there should be any events or special cards in this scenario, and it should just be 100% scripted events. Unique to a specific action. And maybe that's what adventures will be, is that in adventures you don't pick maybe in adventures you don't pick specific cards and do the whole deck building element at the beginning, and instead you just have more of a story based event with no random events elements. Although maybe the random event elements work just as well to always be in the game. With the cowards subdued, the thugs plead for their lives. Please, for pity's sake. We only wanted to feed our families. What else would you have us do? Demand they give you your spoils. Let them go free. Give the 10 gold and let them go free. I think in this case we need gold, so we're going to have to play as the bad guys. In that we gain 2 fame. I feel like we aren't going to have any use for fame in this run. Alright. So let's take this item. Weaken, block, dash stun, map reveal. After every encounter with a gambit, reveal 1 random encounter card on the level. Only 1 helm can be equipped at a time. The other thing here we could have would be this, and because they're new cards, we should definitely look at them. This one would require 13 fame to wear. This one does not, so that obviously is the right choice.
Hardly elegant, but possibly effective.
Alright. So I was proven wrong. It wasn't a case where this event was going to be interrogating one person, and then this the other person, and this the other person. So this is probably just a few cards set up, and then we'll have another level after that. I wouldn't even be 100% surprised if there are 3 fairly small levels, and each level is the equivalent to a night. And so we have to find the clues quickly, otherwise we are going to fail at stopping the assassination, or at least identifying the assassin. So this is where it's time to end this episode. Unfortunately, the links of these missions are not consistent enough that I can end every episode on one mission and start a new episode on another, but I'll try my best to keep them as separated as possible. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.